If this is your first time, welcome. And if you've been here before, I'm so glad to have you home. We're opening this space today with some powerful energy already flowing through. And the very first card I just pulled is the Two of Swords. And the moment I flipped this card over, I felt it. That deep emotional hesitation. The quiet internal battle. The energy of someone who's been standing at a crossroads, stuck between two truths. The one they've been living and the one their heart is finally starting to whisper. So if you've been wondering, how do they really feel about me right now? This is the moment we uncover it. This person has been retreating a lot lately. They're going inward, shutting the door on the world around them, and sitting with some really heavy feelings they've been carrying for a long time. What Spirit is showing me is that they're tired of hiding, tired of pretending to be okay, tired of performing just to be accepted. They've worn a mask for so long that they almost forgot what their true self even looks like. And then you came into the picture. Your energy, it's different. It feels like safety. It feels like truth. You don't ask them to perform. You don't require them to be anything but real. And for someone who's spent their entire life trying to impress people just to feel worthy, that kind of love is shocking. It's liberating. It's terrifying. They feel pulled toward you, not out of obsession or fantasy, but because there's something inside you that speaks to the part of them they've been hiding. And even though they don't fully understand it yet, they know it matters. They feel it in their soul. But here's the thing, they're still figuring it out. This person has been living with a version of themselves that was built out of fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being rejected if they showed who they really are. So now that they're feeling all of this light, all of this magnetism coming from you, it's like their inner world is spinning. It's shaking up everything they thought they had figured out. There's a deep desire here to serve you, not in a superficial way, but in a soul way. They want to show up for you. They want to support you. They want to be someone you can count on. And what makes this even more emotional is that they're not just drawn to you because you're beautiful or kind. They're drawn to you because when they're in your presence, they feel like they can breathe, like they can finally stop running. But right now, they're still in that deep place of inner searching. They're asking themselves real questions. What do I want? Who am I without the mask? How do I show up for someone when I'm still learning how to show up for myself? And those questions, they're not small. They're life-altering. Spirit is saying this person has recently made a decision, a big one, and it's about you. They've realized they can't keep living this way, trapped between who they are and who they pretend to be. And your energy has pushed them into this turning point. It's not that you asked for it, but your light revealed their truth. And now they're choosing to move closer to that truth. They see you as someone sacred, someone they want to come toward, not with empty promises or half-truths, but as their real, whole self. And that's why they've been quiet. It's not avoidance, it's preparation. This connection has stirred something in them that no one else ever has. It's cracked them open, it's pulled them toward healing. And even though they may not have all the words yet, they feel how rare this is. They feel how real this is. So yes, they're going inward right now, but not to hide, to find their way back to the version of themselves that you helped them remember. And they're coming back different. They're coming back true. Moving on, I just pulled the Sun. And Divine Feminine, this card is everything. The warmth, the clarity, the joy. It's like this beam of truth shining straight into your heart. And I'm telling you, this is how they feel about you right now. Since they met you, something has shifted. Something big. It's like their whole life got turned upside down, but not in a bad way. In a way that finally made sense. In a way that woke them up. You didn't just show up in their life. You ignited it. And even if they haven't fully told you that yet, they feel it. Their world looks different now. Their heart is opening in ways they didn't even know it could. This isn't just a crush or a passing phase. This is transformation. You've helped this person break through a lifetime of hiding, of pretending, of living behind a wall. And what's wild is they didn't even realize how badly they needed that shift until you walked in and lit up every shadow they'd tucked away. They've been someone who carried a lot silently. The masks, the people-pleasing, the exhaustion of always showing up how others expected them to, not how they truly are. And that gets so heavy after a while. So draining. They've worn that false smile for so long that they forgot what their real one felt like. But with you, they've started to remember. They've been diving deep into themselves lately, spending time alone, turning inward. Not because they were avoiding you, but because for the first time, it felt safe enough to really look within, to sit with their true feelings, to ask the real questions. And here's the beautiful part. They weren't just looking for answers. They were looking for freedom. That's what your energy brings. It's like this emotional oxygen they didn't even know they were suffocating without. What they've found in you is something they've been subconsciously searching for their whole life. A connection where they can be fully seen, fully loved, and still fully free. A love that doesn't require shrinking or twisting themselves into someone else's mold. They've had these quiet, powerful epiphanies recently. For some, it happened just this morning, or in the past few days, and for others, it's about to happen very soon. But what's clear is they've made a decision. They're ready to be more real, to be more open, to stop running from the version of themselves that you already see and love. There's this tenderness in their energy now, a softening. They've started to realize just how much love they have inside them and how much they've been holding back out of fear. But your faithfulness, divine feminine, your consistent, unwavering love, it's shown them that they can be that version of themselves. They've started seeing themselves through your eyes. And in those eyes, they see light, they see worth, they see someone who's lovable as they are. That's what's healing them. That's what's making them brave. You've given them the courage to finally open the parts of their heart they kept locked away for years. And it's not just about romance, it's deeper than that. You've reminded them of their soul. They've been craving something real, something true. They're tired of shallow connections, of fake smiles and surface level talk. They're done with people who don't see beyond the surface. And being with you, it's like coming home to something they didn't know they were missing until they felt it. Now, they're walking toward you, not just because they want love, but because they want truth. And you are that truth. You're the light that's helping them become who they were always meant to be. The next card I just pulled is the King of Cups. And this card, it speaks volumes about where they are emotionally right now. Still waters that run deep. That's what I'm feeling. This person has a depth within them that not many have ever seen. And the truth is, not many have ever earned the right to see it. Divine Feminine, this person has been searching, not for someone perfect, but for someone true. Someone who isn't afraid of emotional intensity. Someone who doesn't just live on the surface, but feels everything with their whole soul. And that's you. You bring something into their world that they never thought they'd find. Depth. It's not just romantic attraction. It's not about butterflies or surface level chemistry. It's the fact that when they're around you, life feels real. They feel real. Everything becomes clearer, richer, deeper, like they've been walking through life in gray tones, and now suddenly everything's in color. You're not just a person to them, you're a mirror. You reflect back the parts of them they'd forgotten were even there. And through you, they're remembering who they are. This person has always felt a bit out of place in the world. Even when surrounded by people, they often felt misunderstood, like they were speaking a different language. So they learned to adapt. They wore the mask. They played the role. But underneath all of that was this ache, this deep longing to just be, to be seen, to be accepted, to be free. And now you've offered them that space, that energy, that home. You've given them the courage to start removing the emotional armor they've carried for years. And trust me, they don't do that easily. They've built thick walls around their heart, not because they don't want love, but because they've been hurt so deeply in the past. But you didn't try to climb over those walls. You sat beside them patiently, and slowly they're moving the boulders out of the way, letting you in. What's so powerful is that this connection isn't one-sided, it's mirrored. You both reflect deep spiritual truths back to each other. You both trigger healing, growth, and transformation. It's not always comfortable, but it's always real. Right now, they're still spending a lot of time inward, not because they're pulling away, but because they're working. They're working on themselves, healing their inner wounds, facing truths they used to avoid. They want to come toward you with integrity, with emotional maturity, with something real to offer. They're starting to see everything differently now. Love, life, their own purpose. You've opened their eyes to a higher truth, a new way of existing, and it's changing them day by day. They want to invest in this. They're figuring it out, not just what to say, but how to be. How to be the person they know this connection deserves. And even though they may not show it all yet, the effort is there. The energy is moving. The foundation is being built. This isn't just a love story. This is a soul-level partnership, a union that's rooted in something far beyond the physical, and they know it. So if you've felt the energy shift lately, if you've sensed them going quiet or pulling back just a little, it's not distance, it's depth. They're going within because they want to rise. For you, with you, for both of you. Because for the first time in a very long time, they believe they've found something real, and they're ready to build from that place, with you. Now, I just pulled the Six of Wands, and this card feels so right for where they are right now. Because let me tell you, Divine Feminine, this person is finally stepping into the part of themselves that wants to be seen. They've spent so long hiding, dimming their light, trying to be what everyone else expected. They were conditioned to believe that their needs didn't matter, that their voice should be quiet, that their truth would only make others uncomfortable. And that's why, for so much of their life, they felt like they had to shrink themselves just to belong. But now, everything is changing. Since connecting with you, they've started walking a new path. A path of ascension, of courage, of choosing themselves. Not in a selfish way, but in a soul-honoring way. They're realizing their own emotions matter. Their desires matter. And that deep craving they've always had to be fully loved, fully understood, fully known. They're finally admitting that it's real, that it's valid. You've sparked something in them. Not just love, but liberation. They've been going inward for so long, doing the deep shadow work. And now, they're rising. This is a person who's gone from hiding to healing, and now they're starting to shine. And the wildest part, people are noticing. There's a glow about them now, a confidence they never had before. They're becoming more comfortable in their skin, more expressive in their soul. And it's not just happening in private, it's happening out loud. And it's catching people by surprise. Because for a long time, this person kept their true depth hidden. They were the quiet one, the introvert, the one who didn't say much but felt everything. But now, that depth is coming to the surface. And it's beautiful, and it's powerful, and it's shocking people in the best way. They love it. They love seeing people's faces when that wisdom, that truth, that fire starts to come through. They love how freeing it feels to just be themselves without apology. And what's so important here is you, because your presence has helped create this safety. Your love, your loyalty, your unconditional acceptance. It's like you gave them the green light to finally choose themselves, to stop putting their needs last, to stop living in that old childhood programming that said, be quiet, don't take up space, don't make a mess. That line you mentioned, girls and boys, leave your toys, make no noise. That's the voice they grew up hearing. That's the weight they carried. That's the emotional rule book they were taught to follow. And it left them anxious, unsure of their worth, always trying to behave instead of just be. But now, they're done with that. They're choosing joy, choosing truth, choosing you, and choosing themselves. They've figured something out. It might have hit them just this week, or it might be coming through in the next few days. But it's clear. They know what they want now. They've made the decision to move closer, to invest more, to bring this connection forward in a way that feels real, aligned, and honest. Because you don't just love them, you see them. And that, divine feminine, is something they've been searching for their entire life. Now they're finally starting to believe they deserve it. The next card we have here is the Star. And Divine Feminine, this card makes me emotional because this person is finally starting to see the light, and it's because of you. Let's talk about what's really been going on within them. For a long time, they've been carrying a deep heaviness, a sadness they couldn't name, a constant low hum of anxiety that made them second-guess everything about who they are. And it didn't just come out of nowhere. It started early. Somewhere along the way, when they were still young, still innocent, still soft, they were made to feel like being themselves wasn't enough, or worse, that being themselves was too much, too loud, too sensitive, too emotional, too different. So they learned to put on a mask. They learned how to stay quiet, how to shrink, how to blend in just enough to feel accepted. But that acceptance was never real, because deep inside, they were still hurting. They still felt like the world only wanted the edited version of them, the filtered version, not the truth. And so for years, they've been walking around with this quiet ache in their chest, feeling misunderstood, feeling like they were failing, feeling like they had to constantly fix themselves just to be worthy. And then you came in. Your energy didn't demand a performance. You didn't need them to be more. You loved them right where they were. And for the first time in their life, someone saw through the mask and stayed. They see you as an angel, truly, as someone sent by spirit to help them find their way back home to themselves. You brought light into the places they thought would always stay dark. And now they're starting to understand why they felt all that anxiety, why they kept replaying worst-case scenarios in their head, why they were so afraid of being seen. You've helped them see it. And that awareness, that's the beginning of healing. This is deep, soul-level transformation. The kind that doesn't just change how they feel about love, it changes how they feel about life, about themselves. For a long time, they beat themselves up. They felt like they were failing at being human, like something was wrong with them. They felt strange, weird, misplaced. And that belief rooted itself into their self-esteem. They started thinking they weren't lovable, that maybe they just didn't fit anywhere. But now they're starting to realize the truth. They're not too much. They're not unworthy. They're powerful, intuitive, deeply gifted. They're an old soul with a bright, sacred purpose. And you reminded them of that. You didn't just hold space for them. You activated them. Now they're standing taller, speaking a little more confidently, walking through life with more self-awareness. They're realizing they were never broken. They were just never fully seen until now. And the way you make them feel, it's beyond words. You give them this feeling of safety that goes straight to their core. You make them feel like their sensitivity is a strength, that their heart isn't a flaw, it's a gift. They've struggled for so long with self-worth. They've felt rejected, not just romantically, but in terms of identity. Like society told them, you don't fit the mold. Whether they're a man or a woman, they felt like their intuitive nature, their soft heart, their deep wisdom didn't fit the world's image of who they were supposed to be. But now they're seeing that being who they are is their superpower. This isn't just love between you two, it's mutual remembrance of who you are, why you're here, and what you're meant to become together. You've helped them start that journey, and they feel so incredibly blessed because of it. And for our last card, I just pulled the Fool. And Divine Feminine, this couldn't be more perfect to close out this reading, because what I'm feeling is that this person, your counterpart, is finally ready to leap. They've been walking this quiet path for so long, going inwards, untangling old wounds, and trying to figure out what's real and what's fear. And now, they're at the edge, at the threshold, and they know it's time to jump. The Fool is about trust, about letting go of the old stories and stepping into a brand new chapter with nothing but faith, love, and the soul guiding the way. And this is exactly what they're preparing to do with you. They've been healing deep self-esteem wounds, years of believing they were too sensitive, too emotional, too different. But now they're seeing that all of those things were never flaws. They were signals of their calling, reminders of their sacred mission here. You've helped them remember that. And now they're realizing something powerful. They're not here to fit in. They're here to lead, to awaken, to uplift. They're here to love with a heart that's wide open and to stop hiding from the very things that make them who they are. That's why this love feels like a miracle. Because it didn't just give them butterflies, it gave them permission. Permission to be raw, to be true, to love fully, to come alive. And yes, they're fantasizing about you constantly. You've activated every part of them, mind, body, spirit. The passion they feel, the desire, it's intense and it's sacred. This isn't just lust. This is life force energy returning to their body through love. You've helped them come back to themselves. They want to show you how deeply they care. They want to take real-world action, to open their heart, to express their love out loud without holding back, because they feel it too, that you are their perfect person. And now they're finally ready to let go of the fear and follow their heart. This is a love that transforms, a love that heals, a love that chooses every single day. And with this final card, Spirit is confirming your person is stepping into this, not just slowly, but fully. They're choosing love. They're choosing you. Okay, this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. If this reading resonated deeply, let me know in the comments. Your words matter, and they help more soul family find this message. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you stay in this beautiful space of clarity, healing, and transformation. Always remember that you are magnetic, you are sacred, and you are so ready for this next chapter of divine love. Thank you for sharing this energy with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.